So, just in case you're not aware of the most wonderful of news, Dennis Allen has been relieved of his duties as the Saints head coach, and special teams coach Darren Rizzi has been assigned as the interim head coach. Coach Rizzi had his first press conference today, and right here we have little Midas, and Midas, much like Dennis Allen, is a pussy, but unlike Dennis Allen, Midas is still black and gold. Good girl. Um, but anyway, back to the topic. So, um, Coach Rizzi really kind of demonstrated to me in a very short period of time a lot of the elements I've felt DA has been missing the entire time. And to be fair, one interview doesn't tell you everything. Granted, body language, how players react to you. Like there's a lot of most of human communication is nonverbal, and you can see like you can find clips from hype videos and post game videos. You can even find a clip from really what I think was truly the end of the DA era in New Orleans. It just took 9 more games for Gale to finally have enough and tell Mickey he's an idiot and he's wrong and your best buddy is not actually a good coach. Um, but really, the final game of the season last year with the apology to the Falcons, I mean, it was pretty obvious that was the end of any respect, but not just respect. That was the end of any of the players believing that Da had their backs, that they had his respect. And when just as a person, if I believe you don't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. And then it all wears off. Like then you start remembering, oh yeah, this guy is a career loser. He's the only winning he's ever been involved in was with Sean and Drew. And again, if you really look at it, DA's defenses, every single chance they had collapsed and let the team down. Playoff games and important games, they had leads and they gave them up. And you know, players when they're fighting for their coach and they believe in the coach, they'll ignore a lot of those things. But once I don't respect you, I'm going to start acknowledging those things that I'm ignoring. And then you look at Coach Rizzi. Coach Rizzi at the end of that game was the guy who got in Arthur Smith's face. Coach Rizzi was the guy who was popping off and defending the players. And we've seen Rizzi's unit play well. Um, but beyond that, we've seen Rizzi's unit improve. We've seen some accountability in that unit that we haven't seen in other places. And then you see this interview and he's talking about his journey and his path and how he got everything out of the mud. And I guarantee you, a lot of guys in that locker room, even the crazy 5-star recruit talents, they feel like they got it out of the mud. Marshawn Lattimore is an absurdly talented individual. Marshawn got it out of the mud. They're going to respond well to a coach who understands the value of work, the value of attention to detail, the value of passion, but also the value of accountability. And we've seen so many reports over the last few years, some subtle, some blatant, about those elements being missing from Dennis Allen. And Coach Rizzi just came out and flat out said it. Hey, we're not going to be a boring team. I can promise you that. Mention, he's got a background. He's coached offense, he's coached defense, he's coached special teams. He's been a coach for 30 years. He came out and said it straight up with his chest. I am a leader of men. If there's one thing I believe I can do, it is lead people. That's confidence. And how am I supposed to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? And I'm sorry, I've seen Dennis Allen in so many interviews. Dennis Allen doesn't believe in Dennis Allen. If Dennis Allen believed in Dennis Allen the way Mickey Loomis believes in Dennis Allen might have had a small chance to be a good coach, head coach. Um, you just see it with Rizzi. And again, this is not a great team. They got a bad quarterback. Like I kind of almost sort of still want them to lose a lot so we can have a good pick because it really would make a huge difference as far as resetting things. But the guys are probably going to play different for Coach Rizzi. And some of it is that interim coach bump, But I think a lot of it is genuinely, you go and watch these player interviews, they respect this man, but he respects them. And when there is respect, there can be accountability. Without respect, you can't have accountability. If I don't respect you, you can tell me, hey, this was the wrong coverage. You ran this wrong. You should have done this. You should have done that. And I would have been like, all right, cool. I didn't hear a damn thing you said because I don't respect you. I'm not going to listen to you. I don't have put value in your words. When you go, you got to play better. You got to do this better. We got to be more accountable. We got to better attention to detail. If I do not respect you, I'm not listening to any of that. And that is irregardless of industry, sports or otherwise. When you have a manager, a boss, whatever, and you know they don't respect you or they're not worthy of respect, they're incompetent, they don't really know how to do their job. Like you, I'm sorry, man, they start talking, you hear the Charlie Brown sounds, wah 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 wah, and it's pretty obvious that's all DA's been doing this whole time is wah 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 wah, L, and it's just so telling. One interview with Rizzi, you can see a different energy, you can see a different confidence, you can see a different level of self assurance, but also in the player interviews. Even the guys who were big DA apologists and defenders, like Sugar Poss, sorry, I mean Tyron Matthew. Um, like you could just see it. The players know if you pull the same stuff, if you make the same mistakes with Rizzi, he's going to call you out. He's going to call you out in front of the whole team, but he's going to hold every player to the same standard, and that's respect. Number 53 on the roster and number one on the roster. Your biggest star and the guy who is just fighting for a roster spot. They must be held to the same standard because that is not just respect for the individual player, it's respect for the team, respect for the process, and respect for what should be a communal goal, which is winning. It's also just respect for yourself. And DA didn't have any of those things. Looks like Coach Rizzi might. I'm very interested to see how the team plays, and it's also kind of ironic. The moment where we really kind of got an idea that Rizzi might be that dude, and the moment that Dennis Allen proved unequivocally he isn't that dude, came against the Falcons. Coach Rizzi's first game as interim head coach is against the Falcons. What a you could not come up with a better way to announce yourselves as things being different than to play this game differently and show that things are different. Even if you don't win, which they might not, you can still show that things are different. I can't wait to watch.